Singapore is one of those places that is often highly regarded and well respected. Although this city-state is only small in terms of population and size, it is well known across the globe and attracts many visitors and workers. Now, as marvellous and impressive as Singapore looks, its quality of life isn't the greatest, especially when compared to other countries of similar wealth. For the quality of life rankings, it places 30th. So not too bad, but not outstanding. It is worth noting, however, that for Asia alone, it ranks 5th. So in this video, we've got some reasons why Singapore isn't particularly a great place to live when compared to other countries. Its size. Singapore is a very small country. At just 728 kilometers squared, it actually ranks as the 176th largest country in the world. For reference, it is about half the size of London. Now, being a small country doesn't particularly make it a bad place to live. However, when your country is so small, it gives you less options for adventure, freedom and exploring. If you've lived there all your life or have worked there for many years, you will likely have done everything the country has to offer. I can imagine quite a few people experience cabin fever in Singapore. The weather. Singapore sits quite literally just above the equator. This means that it is hot and humid every single day. It also experiences a lot of rainfall. This sort of heat and humidity makes it difficult to do so many tasks outside, such as exercising. I visited Singapore in November one year, and even going for a walk left me dripping in sweat. As I'm from the UK, we have 4 distinct seasons. Each have their positives and their negatives. It is kind of refreshing that the climate changes every 3 months or so, as you can adjust your hobbies and daily life. Whereas in Singapore, the weather is pretty much the same year round. This constant same weather, as well as being a small place, certainly reinforces my point of cabin fever. Expensive cars. The prices of cars in Singapore is, well, absolutely insane. It is quite possibly the most expensive place on the planet to buy your own vehicle. Are you ready for this? A new car, like a Volkswagen electric Golf, will set you back around $30,000 in London. In Singapore, however, it is more like $90,000 and above. Owning a car in Singapore is just straight up impossible for most people. However, it isn't all doom and gloom, as its MRT, which is its train service, is one of the best on the planet. The encouragement of using public transport is also better for the environment too. However, sometimes it is nice to just own your own vehicle, especially if you are transporting goods or doing some shopping. Expensive. Singapore was ranked as the 2nd most expensive city in the world by the Economist Intelligence Unit in its worldwide cost of living 2021 survey. When I compared Singapore to London, everything including rent, which blows my mind, is more expensive in Singapore. At an astounding $875,000 US, Singapore is the 2nd most expensive place on earth to buy property, only behind Hong Kong. As previously mentioned, cars are also incredibly expensive too. There are of course many high-paying jobs and many million and billionaires living in Singapore, but for the average Joe, it is simply crazy expensive. Strict laws. Okay, laws are made to stop criminals, right? To deter people from committing awful crimes that cause harm or damage to others. Well, in Singapore, it is against the law to sell chewing gum. If you are caught, you could be sent to prison and receive a hefty fine. E-cigarettes, fireworks, shisha, purchasing alcohol and gathering in groups after 10 can also land you a fine. The government claims that all of these laws are to maintain peace and order. However, to most people around the world, this is just too far. It is essentially a nanny state. Alcohol. If you don't drink alcohol, then this one probably doesn't bother you. However, if you do enjoy a casual beer or two, you'll find that it is one of the most expensive places on earth to consume it. Alcohol, although allowed, is kind of frowned upon in Singapore. High taxes are placed upon it to make it less desirable to drink in large amounts. Densely populated. Singapore is one of the most densely populated places or countries on Earth, at over 8,000 people per kilometre squared. It ranks third only behind Macau and Monaco. This sheer amount of people all living and working within close proximity of course has many drawbacks. Crowded public transport, high demand for housing, and a lack of spacious property too. Press freedom. The Press Freedom Index is an annual ranking of countries based on their press freedom records in the previous year. The higher you rank for this, the more freedom the press have, which is of course great for reporting on corruption. For this, Singapore ranked in a very poor 139th place. High pressure and stressful. Singapore's work ethic and general pressure to succeed means that people work and study hard. Singapore actually ranks 5th in the world for the most average hours worked in a year by its population. First out of 15 countries involved in a study about the world's most fatigued countries. And a report came out last year that 92% of Singaporeans are stressed, 8% above the world average. This comes to no surprise as Singapore is such an expensive, densely populated, small country that has huge focus on business, finance and wealth. However, it isn't all doom and gloom for Singapore. As mentioned earlier, they rank in the top 30 countries in the world for quality of life. Again, this isn't particularly amazing, but it's not bad either. For one, Singapore is an extremely safe country with very low levels of crime. Violent crime is almost non-existent there. It is the type of place where you can leave your laptop on your table unattended whilst you grab another coffee. Singapore is renowned across the world for being one of the cleanest places on Earth. Changi Airport is immaculate, and of course, chewing gum is banned, so you won't see any of that stuck to the floor. Singapore is also located in a great place too, if you love travel or need to move around for work. It is within Southeast Asia, so has easy access to other great countries like Thailand, Malaysia, the Philippines, and more. Singapore is a melting pot of cultures. Its cuisine consists of incredible dishes and flavours from Malay, Chinese, Indonesian, Vietnamese, Thai, and Indian influences. And as mentioned earlier in this video, its M or LRT train system is one of the best in the world. It is incredibly efficient, highly reliable, and runs like clockwork. There are many fantastic opportunities to work in finance in Singapore, and of course their salaries are very high too. So there we have it, that is why Singapore ranks in the top 30 for quality of life. It is certainly not perfect, but there are definitely worse countries in the world to live in. So what are your thoughts on Singapore? Would you visit there or would you live there? Let us know below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.